Hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. My name is Cristina Revalo. I'm a sugar paste modeling artist, a teacher, a coach for cake artists, Cake Friends Day creative community manager, award winning cake decorator, and representative of international cake competitions. I'm so happy to have you here. If you are a cake artist, a cake enthusiast, or a baker who is seeking some help, in anything related to your time management, social media management, setting your goals for yourself or your business, your mindset towards your business, or even a few hints of how to be part of the international cake community, cake collaboration, and cake competitions, you are in the right place. So, welcome to today's episode. Well, hello, my sweet friends. Welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here. I'm so happy to have you back. Uh, guess what? It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. How are you? How are you celebrating? It's love, friendship, and it's a beautiful day to remind us the sacrifice, because actually the story of Valentine's comes from a sacrifice made out of love, and how love can be about a giving. So it has become a story of a romance and, hearts and little cupids. But I just want to leave you with two messages on this Valentine's Day. Um, love you as much as you can, because nobody will love you more than you, and you can only find a love that is equal to the love that you have for yourself. That's so true everywhere in life. And second, just make love a function of, I'm not going to say service, but think about what the other person needs. What can I do for others? That is absolutely true love. Also learn it in this past few years. By giving, you're receiving three times more. So happy Valentine's Day, guys. And today, this episode, of course, has to do with time management. And time management, it's funny because being Valentine's Day, I know it's one of the biggest or most is the busiest season, not the busiest, but one of the uh, busiest seasons for cake artists, because there's a lot of orders coming up with especially little treats, a lot of cookies and cupcakes and cake pops, some cakes, but special little things, and that take a lot of time. And I thought, well, this is great for time management, because um do we even have time to celebrate Halloween? I was going to go to Halloween to celebrate Valentine's Day as cake artists. Well, I mean, I thought of Halloween because I think of any holiday like Christmas and Halloween and Valentine's Day. Those are the seasons or the days that we have more work. And it is hard sometimes for us to have, like, okay, let me finish everything before certain hours so I can at least have dinner with my loved one. I mean, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. And I have a funny story. In top of that is my mother's-in-law birthday. So I never celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day. Funny enough, was the day of our wedding, but the civil wedding, which is like signing of paperwork that says that you're married, but we actually got married later in the church on March. So we celebrated on March. But yeah, it is my 22nd, our 22nd wedding, civil wedding anniversary. It is my mother's in law 80th birthday this year. We're having a big party. And so, yeah, it's everything but Valentine's Day. And it's a busy day. So, thinking about that, of course, I had to think about time management, because all of this month we're going to be talking about time management and how do we manage, how do we celebrate, how do we even have time to celebrate um, Valentine's Day when we have so many things to do. And of course, it comes to the question, how do we manage our time in order to make it possible for us to enjoy life, us as cake artists, I mean, to enjoy like a weekend, or enjoy a weekend out, or enjoy an evening, or a special holiday like this one, without going crazy. So yeah, there's a chance you can do that. You just have to prioritize. Do you have to organize your time, and give importance to whatever you want to give importance to? Because I changed my phrase lately, guys. I started to say, instead of I don't have time for this, is I choose not to dedicate time for this. And we're going to talk about this in today's episode. I've been talking a lot. This is just the intro. This is just the welcome, but I already told you the whole story. And also today, I want to give a big shout out to a very special person, Emin Art. This lovely lady who has been following the Art Cake Coach on every social media. And now she's part of the big family of Cake Friends Stay Creative. And she's running a collaboration on Cake Friends Stay Creative about kindness. This is so beautiful. Her collaboration has to do with kindness, to celebrate Kindness Day, and it's a beautiful idea to celebrate kindness in the world and to be kind to one another. And the collaboration is hosted this year, of course, with the help of the Cake Collective, but is hosted on Cake Friends Stay Creative. And everybody who's part of our big family in this group can join this collaboration. And I wanted to refer, because she left a very nice comment the other day about the podcast. She listened to the episode. She's also in the time management group. And she said about last episode, when we talked about the myth of creative people and being organized and all of that, she said, we are not disorganized in the way they mean. It does get messy as we tend to hyper focus while creating. So true. We can be super organized as the point of perfectionism and messy at the same time. Absolutely true, honey. You cannot be more right about this. We can be an organized mess. I love this one, an organized mess. Then she continues, she says other things, but then she finishes the comment saying, when I'm finished, I clean up so it will be ready for the next project. Smart. But I also realize that if I do deep cleaning, I tend to be less motivated to create. This really calls my attention, because I mean, everybody has their own way of working. So too clean, no, doesn't work for her. I don't want to make a mess. That's what I love about your space on Instagram. Thank you so much, sweetie. I dedicate a dedicated place for your office work, with all your creations neatly displayed, and your separate creative area in the kitchen to make a mess. She's talking about one post that I did on social media of my two places of work. Then she continues and said, I need to organize my space and time. Maybe an idea for a cleanup organized challenge. Who's up for a challenge on cleaning and organizing? I am, definitely. I need some motivation. Thank you so much, Amin, for your beautiful comment. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about the episode. And I'm really happy that you listened to it. And I'm really happy that it helped you. So, this was a long intro. Guess what? This episode has to do again with time management. Everything this month is about time management. So let's dig in today about the true concept of time management, pros and cons of time management, and we're going to talk about your why, your reason why you want to do things. So stay tuned and listen to today's episode. And before we start this episode, I want to invite you to join our time management free class. It's available for you on a private Facebook group. We have two groups, one in English and one in Spanish, with tips and tricks. It's 4 weeks, one class a week of time management. The previous two lessons are already recorded, but you can join the group and watch again the replays as many times as you like, as long as you're part of the group. I will be leaving the links in this episode on how to join the time management free course for the whole month of February. So I really hope to see you there. So today's episode is, of course, about time management because this month of February is dedicated to time management everywhere on the Art K Coach. It has been on the Art K Coach free group. We have two groups with time management classes, one in English, one in Spanish. This podcast is dedicated to time management as well. And my Instagram account, the new Instagram account for the Art K Coach, which the links will be available for you in the description of the episode. If you're not part of my new account, please be there and support the account for this podcast. This is all related to time management. Last episode, we mentioned some myths about that surrounded creative people. We talk about how to get over those myths, and I share with you a special technique, a very simple technique, not invented by me. I learned it from somebody else, called the Pomodoro technique, where you can take the most advantage of your time. All of this is great, but in this last week class on the free class, we started go deeper on the concept of time management because for me, guys, this is how it works. In order for something to change or something to improve, I really need to go to the root of the problem and to the basic concepts to understand what's happening. So, when we think about time management, and I kind of talk about this with the group and I ask their opinions because everybody's like, oh, I have difficulties with time management. I cannot manage my time correctly. I don't have enough time to do things, or I have too many things to do at the same time. That was usually, I mean, the conversation went around that. And I said, okay, we need to set, things straight. And we need to start by understanding what is the concept behind time management. And I love this concept. Is the process of directing how much time is spent on a certain activity, not how many activities I can do in a certain amount of time. Do you see the difference? I mean, usually when we think about time management, we think, okay, I need to make as much as I can in the 2 hours that I have of working. No, actually, it works the other way around. You have to find first what is the task that you need to do and to tackle first. And then how much time am I willing or I can dedicate to this task, because actually that's the only way to move forward. If we keep thinking that we need more time, that's usually the concept. Oh, we need more, I need more time. You don't need more time, you need to manage the time correctly, because, and I think I said this in the previous episode, newsflash, everybody gets the same 24 hours. We don't get any more or any less unless you sleep a lot, but that's another thing. 24 hours in a day. So, what are you going to do with those 24 hours? That's why the let's say the concept, the equation has to be different. I mean, time is actually my fixed number. I have the 24 hours, that's it. So what is the variable? The variable is the activities that I'm going to do. So how much of that time I'm going to put into which activity? That is the key of time management. And you know what's beautiful about that? The beautiful thing about that is you are in control. You are responsible to determine how much time you spend in a certain activity. Doesn't that give you a sense of empowerment? Like, I have it under control. I have the control. Time doesn't control me. I control the time. It's actually, I think it's beautiful. And I think it's so empowering. And I think it's so important to understand this concept first. Because once we understand that, it kind of change our mindset to, okay, I need more time in the day. No, you don't need more time in the day. You need to realize how much time you're going to spend in certain activities. Next question is, Christina, how do I know what activities I'm going to be doing in that certain amount of time? Well, I have a recommendation for you. The whole month of January was dedicated to goal setting. Go and check those episodes. Go and find out information about goal setting, because once you set your goals, you know what activities are more important. But we'll talk about that in a second. So, once we know what time management is, we need to understand the good things about time management and the not so many good things about not having a good time management. So, poor time management would lead you to this stress. And please just listen to me and tell me if I'm right. I know I'm right, but just tell me, because I mean, leave me a comment, do something, or just inside of you say, yes, I know this. Poor time management generates stress. You feel overwhelmed. You take poor decisions, because every time we are overwhelmed and stressed and overworked, we take the wrong decisions. It's like going to the supermarket hungry. You don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry, because you're going to end up buying a lot of things that you don't need to buy and probably not the best for your health. So, when you're stressed and overwhelmed, the decisions you make on prioritizing, on working, even in your creative time, they're going to be poor. You procrastinate more. And you know why you procrastinate more? Because you spend too much time thinking about what to do, because you don't have anything managed, you don't have anything organized. So you first just have to start to think, what am I going to do today? And that leads you to procrastination. You feel unmotivated. Who's going to feel motivated if you don't know where to start? And of course, less productive and fail to set priorities. If you need any more help about more concepts about time management and prioritizing, I invite you to listen to episode 3 and 4 of this series, because I talk in there. Episode 3, we give a very big overview of time management, and episode 4 is a short, but in that short I give you some ideas about prioritizing. So what do you win? What are the benefits of having a good time management? You get more efficient, you increase your productivity, you know how to prioritize, you have a work structure, and you focus. You can focus on the thing that is in front of you. Remember the Pomodoro technique? So it's something like that. You know what to do and how to do it. So once we get deep into these concepts, we really understand why is it important to have good time management, or to even start managing your time somehow. I'm not saying good, just plan, organize your time. Um, and of course, you're going to think, okay, Christina, but I'm a cake artist. First of all, I'm an artist and I'm free and inspired and creative, and I have to be in the zone to start working. Yes, but you needed to, I mean, you have a business, and the business has to produce money and to sell, and you have to keep working. So, you're not going to be motivated all the time. And I already mentioned this in other episodes as well. You're not going to be always motivated. The only way to know what food goes in front of the other is by having everything planned and organized with a good time management strategy. So, this is all great. These are wonderful. You can apply this not only for your life as a cake artist, but for your life in general. When I plan for everything, even for my free time. I've been in the last probably 2 or 3 weekends. I've been going out with my husband. I've been going out with the family. We've been traveling, not too far, like an hour or so away from the city, but going into beautiful places and spending time just disconnecting, and all of this while I do all of my work. And none of this would have been possible without a time management. I'm not going to say good or bad, without time management. So think about that. Think about the real concept and how empowering it is. You are in charge, you're in control of the time. And when you feel like, "Ugh, I don't feel like planning," Christina is like, why you keep talking to me about planning? Think about all the things that you're not going to have. You're not going to be stressed, you're not going to be overwhelmed, you're not going to take poor decisions, you're not going to procrastinate. So it's just winning. You're going to get more efficient, more productive, you're going to prioritize and have structure. All of this is possible with time management. And today's episode is brought to you by Saracino and Saracino free monthly magazine We Love Pastry, with incredible tutorials, easy to follow and unique, created by the very talented artists from around the globe, interesting interviews and blogs. You can, of course, download this for free in the link that I will be leaving in this episode. And I have to say, I'm a huge fan of Saracino pasta model. Is my go-to material to work with either my competition pieces, my collaboration pieces, and of course to model beautiful cake toppers for all my clients. So Saracino, thank you so much for sponsoring today's episode. Okay, my friends, so we already know the concept of time management. We know what happens when we have poor time management and what do we win with a good managing strategy of our time. However, you think, Christina, this is a lot of work. You're asking me to do a lot of things in order to manage my time, but I don't have time. I told you this story. Today I was sharing the story with a friend. When I went to buy my agenda this the beginning of no, it was the end of last year. I take that task very seriously because I have to choose the agenda that speaks to me, that has enough space for me to write, that is beautiful and nice. Especially, it will be perfect if it's purple, but it wasn't purple, but it's okay. It was beautiful and I bought it. And when I was checking the agendas in the store, this lady next to me, I don't know, another customer walks in, and she grabs one of the agendas and say, "Oh, this is pretty. It's so nice. But you know what? I'm not going to keep an agenda this year. I don't have time for that." And I was like, "You don't have time because you don't have an agenda. That's the problem." But anyway, you know that, and you know it takes time and it takes commitment, and you have to sit down and plan everything. And you're like, "Oh, come on, Christina, I don't have time for that." No, I hope you don't say that. But you will be like, "You're giving us more things to do." Well, another news I have to tell you, I was so happy today. One of my coaching clients, beautiful Clara, she's from Mexico, and she's been working with me for a whole month and a half already. And today she said, "Last weekend I had free time." It's like, I didn't know what to do because I was always busy. I was always running around like, like a headless chicken, not knowing what to do. And finally, this weekend is like, I went to the nail salon and I took my kid out for ice cream because I had time. I mean, that made my day. I was like, yes, it's working. I know. And she's like, it's really working. It's work. I mean, I have to work before to plan it, but it's really working. And I was so happy with that news because I know it works, but it's different when when the person on the other side sees it for themselves. So, yes, it is work. You have to sit down, you have to plan, you have to think about a lot of things. But at the end of the day, you will manage your time better and you will feel better. I promise you that. Now, like I said before, you're not always motivated. So you need to have that, that drive, that push, that fuel that keeps you going. And the only thing that will keep you going, no matter what, is the reason why you're doing something. So in this week's class on the time management groups, we talk about that, about finding your why, finding your reason, because nothing changes without a real reason, because you can have many reasons, but a real reason. So I gave them an exercise that I did myself, and I heard about this from another coach, who was ask yourself the same question 7 times. So for example, ask yourself, why are you interested on time management? Because I procrastinate. Okay, why do you procrastinate? Oh, I procrastinate because I rather do something else than what I need to do. Why do you rather do something else than what you need to do? And you keep asking yourself, I'm not going to go further than that, but you just keep asking yourself 7 times, Why? Every time, remember the kids when they're young and they're just start asking them like, why, mommy, why am I doing this? Why? But why? And you're like, I don't have any more answers. So I want you to get to the point of, I don't have any more answers, because that final answer, that's going to be your real reason for change. After you find your reason, that's going to be your fuel, you take the goals from the month of January. Remember the ones that we've been working on the podcast for a whole month? You take those goals, remember that you went through the SMART approach and the HAM approach, these filters that you go through your goals and you set your priorities and everything. And you take those goals with that why, and you will have your complete map. I'm going to tell you why. Because you know where you stand. Remember last episodes when we were talking about the myths about time management? You realized there how much you lie yourself about your time management. Then I asked you to write a list of all your tasks, daily tasks or weekly tasks, and realize two things. Either it is not that much, I'm just making it bigger in my head, or I really do a lot and I need to organize myself better. So that's where you are stand. That's where you are. You're in this position where I procrastinate and I do this and I have a lot of things to do or not so many things to do and I just don't know. That's your now. That's where you are, right? And after that, your goals, all of the work that we did with the goals are going to be your destination. So if you're in a map, you need to know where you stand in order to go somewhere else, right? So you will have your where you stand, you know exactly where you are, and then you will have that destination, that goal. And the only thing that's going to make you move from from your now to that destination is going to be your why. That is the reason why you're going to keep doing it every single day. I invite you to know your real why. That's going to be if I can't leave you homework, that's going to be your homework for this week. Just sit down and ask yourself those questions. Why do I really want to change? Why do I really need this? What do I really want out of this? And how does being in charge, how does having made that change would make you feel? Ask yourself those two questions and you will have I mean, you will have a big reason to keep going and organize your time and do many more things. But we're talking about time management, so we're going to stick to time management. So I'm going to leave you with that in today's episode. Find your why. Think about how does being in control of your time and your goals and everything that you want for your cake business and for yourself make you feel, and that will make a whole difference in everything that you're going to do in the future. I mean, I I give you my word on that. Believe me, been there, done that. So I know it makes a big change. And with that, I hope that I leave you in a positive note and with a little bit of homework, but for your own good, of course, because I only share things here that are good for you guys in my beautiful cake community. If you have any questions, any doubts, if you want to leave me a comment and tell me what do you think about this episode, please do in any of my social medias where I share these episodes on Tuesdays. And please have a beautiful Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Sending a lot of love to everyone out there, to all the people who listen, and to all of you who have been so supportive of this podcast. Happy Valentine's Day. And as always, my friends, stay safe and stay creative. See you next week. My sweet, sweet friend, if you liked this episode, if you love this podcast, I will kindly ask you to leave me a started review, whatever you're listening to this episode that is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I think a couple of other ones. But in any of those, just leave me a review, leave me a couple of stars or 5 stars if you like it. So people will find this episode, the algorithm would put it out there, and more of our K community will benefit from it. Share it with your friends. Download the episode and share them. Share them on your social media and tag me because I will answer you back. Of course, I will. And send me comments, send me your review, send me your feedback. Even if you don't agree with anything that I say, I would love to hear your opinion. You can find me in any of my social media accounts. I will be leaving the links here on this episode description. I'm on Facebook as The Art Cake Experience. I am on Instagram at Christina_The Art Cake Experience. Or you can even find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Art Cake Experience channel. So thank you so much for listening. And please leave me your review and leave me your comments and your feedback. I would love to hear what you have to say about any of this episode.